On Sunday, October 2nd, Sharon and I boarded a Turkish Airlines 787 bound for Istanbul, and then another long flight to Abuja. We landed late Monday evening, and on Tuesday we linked up with Ayuba and did our first wheelchair distribution at Kuru, not far from Jos. We gave out 40 wheelchairs here. The next day, Wednesday, we drove 4 hours north to Balbado in Jigawa State, to the palace of the Dagachi, or chief. When Ayuba talked to him several years ago about hosting a wheelchair distribution, he said, "Oh, I think we only have 10 or 12 disabled in my domain." Ayuba knew better, and he and I brought 50 the first time, then later 120, then 100 more. Carol was part of one of those distributions. Last March 20th, Ayuba gave out 75 more, then on March 27th, another 75. And we brought another 120 on this day, and the chief still has more on his waiting list. The chief, Malan Usman Lamado, is very embarrassed about this. He thought he knew his domain well until the issue of wheelchairs for polio survivors came up. But this is very typical. If you could never get further from your house than you can crawl on your hands and knees, you aren't going to be going out in public very much, and no one will know about you except your family. And many of them are ashamed.
Don't dry.
It's good. Our third distribution was at the Kankakee local government area in Plateau State. We gave out another 100 wheelchairs here.
Ko a kai masha can ko? Sigi.
Here are some of the plaques and trophies in Ayuba's office at the shop, honoring him for all his humanitarian work. A visit to the shop. All the spokes come in a box, so the wheels have to be assembled by hand, a very tedious job. Our polio survivors spend all day pounding mud guards. The geese are very effective night watchmen.
Yeah, but
This is Jesse, our storekeeper and computer expert. Smile. Our fourth distribution was a 5-hour drive each way to Azari in the far north of Bauchi State. We gave out 120 wheelchairs here. We had given wheelchairs several years ago to disabled students at a large college of education in this town, as well as a few old manual typewriters to the special education department so the blind students could write their exams. Finally, someone picked her up. Here's her smile. Our fifth presentation was on Sunday morning, October 9th, at a Baptist church in Mabuti, a village in Plateau State near Langtang, about a 3-hour drive from Jos. I preached and one of the leaders translated into the local tribal language. Most of the beneficiaries crowded into the front of the church, seated on the floor, including Muslims. We gave out 111 wheelchairs after the service. Good. Our sixth presentation was at the Emir's Palace of Kefi in Nasarawa State. We gave out 100 wheelchairs here. We've given wheelchairs here before, and so has my sister Carol Watson. This is my colleague Phyllis Sorter with our armored Lexus SUV. Now the money for these wheelchairs is given by people in my church in America and other churches in the love of Jesus.
Kamar da ya faɗa mana ya ce shi limani ne na addinin Krista, ya ce kuɗin da ana samun a yi keken nan da shi. Bai ko ne daga majami'arsa da wasu majami'u a kusa.
And we give these wheelchairs to both Muslims and to Christians in the love of Jesus. For Jesus has taught us to be compassionate to the poor and the crippled and the blind. Phyllis had a Yuba make a special wheelchair for this girl, Salamatu, who couldn't bend her legs. We attended the 4-day Sahel Initiative Conference with several hundred church leaders and missionaries. The Sahel is the semi-arid band across Africa, below the desert and above the forests. Dr. Larry Burke, Wycliffe missionary from Westside Presbyterian, was one of the main organizers. Our last distribution was at the palace of the Emir of Karshi, near Abuja. This emir wore his turban across his mouth, not just under his chin like most. He has a PhD and teaches at the University of Kefi. I gave him a Hausa Bible in Arabic script, 2,500 pages, which a missionary at the conference gave me to give to him.
I'm delighted to be back here to this great and historic palace.
We gave out 100 wheelchairs here. And now Ayuba is a graduate of the law faculty of the University of Jos.
Ya ce amma Ayuba bai bar wannan ya zama mishi gardama ba.
Very beautiful word. The president move up to Hausa. Impressed to give beautiful gate handicap center a very big round of applause.
On behalf of the Board of Trustees,
An kira sunan waye ne aka kira? Dama kun yi tuwoti. Akwai wanda idan shi ke kai. Kun yi tuwoti. Shi akwai ne. Kun tuwoti.
I'm appreciated. That evening, we boarded a Turkish airline plane for the long trip home. We'd given out 700 wheelchairs in 7 major distributions. Thank you for your support, which transformed the lives of 700 polio survivors.